Hey, I'm Big Lou, and this is Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do. And this is a video I need to do because I actually started about 4 or 5 months ago when I made some pork stock. Today I'm going to show you how I make my smoked pork stock and my smoked turkey stock, and there's going to be a little bit of footage of some shrimp stock. Now, last weekend I made some chicken stock. I put it up in jars and freeze it, or you can pressure can it. This is some chicken stock I made last week. I spatchcocked 3 chickens last week or a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. Spatchcocked 3 chickens. I took the backbones out of the chickens, the breastbones out of the chicken when I spatchcocked, boiled those down with some celery, some onion and garlic, filtered it, made some chicken stock, and this has been in my freezer, all right? This is a jar of the pork stock that is in the video. All right, it just came out of my freezer. It's still frozen. I could pressure can it, but not just easy to freeze it, you know. And anyway, I made this 3 or 4 months ago. I use this for marinades and stuff, and I even got a video where I use the pork stock in a pork loin. So I'll put the iCard. I think the iCard goes there, somewhere. Anyway, it's pork stock. Made some shrimp stock in this video. Sometimes I don't always freeze stuff in jars. That's just frozen in a quart-sized bag. Got some of that chicken stocks in a quart-sized bag too. All right. And hey, yesterday I made some smoked turkey stock. All right. And that's what I was waiting on to get this done. Had 5 turkey carcasses. And this is a smoked turkey stock. I fill a gallon-sized bag up about halfway. Just lay it out flat, and they just stack them in my freezer like that. And I've got these things of smoked turkey stock. All right. Now, if you don't know the difference between stock and broth, stock is made with the bones or meat with the bones in it. Broth is just made from boiling just the meat without the bones. That collagen or gelatin or whatever, all that marrow stuff comes out of the bones, and stock is a little thicker. I think stocks taste a little better. But anyway, you can use them both, but you don't have to go to the store and buy chicken broth or pork broth or turkey broth when you're making stuff. If you cook a lot, you should have these bones. Freeze them when you got enough. Make a big old batch of stock. Thanks for watching Big Lou Barbecue. I'm going to speed things up, voice over it, and show you how all this is done. All right, to make the smoked pork stock, I'm going to take about 8 blade bones from pork butts that I do. You know I like to make pulled pork. A couple bones from picnic shoulders that I've done. And then these have all been in the freezer. There's a ham bone down there, and I think there's 2 breast bones from some rib tips that I've smoked. Throw in a couple onions, 4 or 5 ribs of celery, however much you want, a few carrots, and add some salt to it. You can add as much salt as you want or as little. And then you cover it up with water. This takes about 3 gallons of water because that's a 20-quart stock pot. Looks about like that right there, and we need to cover it up and bring it to a boil. But oops, I forgot to put the garlic in. All right, I was going to cover it up and bring it to a boil, and then realized, you know what, I got to throw in a head of garlic. I cut the little brown part off the top of it and wash it, and then just chunk the whole head in there. You can break it up if you want to, all right? Once it's been boiling, raging boil for about 30 minutes like that, it's time to turn it down to a simmer, and then you're going to let it simmer at least 2 hours. I let mine go 4 hours, and it tastes a little better. That same day, I made some shrimp out on the grill. There's an iCard up above of how I cooked the shrimp, but once I got the shrimp all peeled, I saved the shrimp shells and the heads, and I put those into a pot with some celery and onions and stuff and covered them up with water and made shrimp stock too. All right, hey, the pork stock is about done, and I've let it cool a little bit, but before it cools too much, I'm going to get that strainer right there and strain out little bits of fat and meat and stuff that come off the top and float in there. And then we're going to, there's the shrimp stock, y'all. Look at that. It fogged my camera up a little bit. Put a little bit of liquid shrimp boil in there too. It tastes even better. All right. But I filter it the same way. So let's get it ladled into jars. Just get a ladle like this. And I got a jar funnel and a coffee filter, and I just pour it through there. And that makes it a little clearer, a little cleaner stock, but you can use just a strainer. In fact, you'll see at the end of the video, that's what I did for this smoked turkey stock. All right, and there's the stock pot again. And I've got 5 turkey carcasses and the breastbone from one where I just did the turkey breast part, all right? I love to cook turkey. It's my absolute favorite thing to smoke or cook out on a grill or a smoker. And so I did a lot of smoked turkey stock, all right? Once the carcasses are in there, they've been in the freezer, you know, for the past several months when I've cooked turkeys. Once they were all in there, I put onions, carrots, celery in the pot, filled it with water. I've got garlic in there too. I broke the garlic pods up for this one. And we're going to cover it up. do the same thing we did with the pork stock. All right, I got some salt in there too. So, and bring it to a raging boil. Once it comes to a raging boil like that, we're going to turn it down to a simmer. You can see that the meat's already starting to fall off the bones there as it had been frozen, and it had been simmering now for about 4 hours. And it's ready. So I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit, but you can see it's got a good color to it. And I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit, and I'm gonna run it through a strainer. Now you might be saying, what do you do with all this stock, Big Lou? Well, the next morning I got up and made a gumbo. There's the vegetables. There's some leftover chicken and some smoked turkey in there, andouille sausage, the onions and celery and everything. The roux in that frying pan just next to it. All right, right there. And we're going to put in about a gallon of that smoked turkey stock and add some seasons. And yep, I'm making a gumbo, y'all. Gumbo came out great. Hey, if you want it real clear, filter it through a coffee filter like I showed you with the pork stock. I did that with the chicken stock. The turkey stock, I just use this strainer. You got to get that stuff out of it. But if you want it really clear, you can use a coffee filter, but that takes a whole lot longer, a lot quicker with this. What I use the stock for? Jambalaya and gumbo primarily, but also making marinades and all sorts of soups and all sorts of other things. The chicken stock's always used in soup. Shrimp stock's used in seafood gumbo mostly, and etouffee, stuff like that. You know, it's convenient to have it in your refrigerator. Why throw those shrimp heads or pork bones away, turkey carcasses? Make stock, man. Big Lou Barbecue. Hey, as I like to say in Spanish, gracias por mirar. That means thanks for watching.